showtime is here, so on with the show. Let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
Do you hear that sound? All over Australia, kids are bumping into trees and walking into roads. Why? I'll tell you. Also, 2025, the year we got thinner, but did we get healthier? We'll talk. Let's talk.
Uncensored, unfiltered, unhinged. It's the Karel Cast. Listen daily on your favorite streaming service.
It is the Crowcast. I am Karel. Happy Tuesday, December 9th. So very glad you are joining me. Woo-hoo! Well, do you hear that sound? All over Australia, children are bumping into trees and walking off cliffs. We'll tell you why. Also, 2025 was the year of Ozempic. Yes, it was here before, but really this year the masses got it, not just the rich people. And we got thinner, but did we get healthier? We are going to talk about that. And the darings do of Washington, D.C. as Trump heads to Pennsylvania to try to sell the affordability, memo that the GOP are trying to sell. And in Japan, a giant earthquake has them issue quite a rare warning, which is that there could be a mega quake. They're talking 8, 9, 10 or above. What would happen if that happened? We'll talk to you about that. I am so glad you are here with me today. I have to tell you that my mind is totally, into topics, but my new single came out today, Karel, I Dance Because, and I am just so very thrilled that it's here. Here's the cover. Isn't that a fabulous cover? Look at that. And here is part of the song. I dance because we did. I dance to show the world, I dance to show the good, I dance to feel you near, I dance to hold you dear, I dance to be the light, I dance to on our nights. On days that sadness wins, on nights that seem too cold, I know just what to do, when it's you I wanna hold. I start to feel the beat, let it move into my soul, I no longer feel alone, the rhythm makes me whole, yeah. I dance because we did, I dance because we could, I dance to show the world, I dance to show the good, I dance to feel you near. So there's part of the song. It's called Karel, I Dance Because. The cover is still up. I want to explain to you a little about the cover. That's an 80s version of me. Yeah, I had that jacket actually. Got stolen from me in Long Beach. I went over and tried to get it back from the thieves, but they didn't have it. On the left is Andrew in a little sailor outfit. On the right is my dear friend Lorenzo Braxton. Both gone, both people that in the 80s I danced with. And this song means a lot to me, and I want to tell you why, at the beginning of the show today, because I really want this song to resonate. I sometimes dance with the Apple Fitness Plus people. They do a dance workout cardio, and a lot of times they do it to 80s music. And every time that I do it and they play the 80s music, I cry. Every time. And the reason I cry is I'm having a great time, and it makes me remember all the people, all the fabulous gay men that I have danced with in the 80s and 90s who left us too early because of AIDS or other illnesses. Daniel Charleston just left because of ketamine, and yet I danced with him so much. And so I sat down, literally, I had just finished a 30-minute workout, and I grabbed my iPad, and it just came out of me in under 5 minutes. I danced because we did, I danced because we could, I danced to show the world, I danced to show the good. The lyrics are really powerful. I know it's a dance song, but the lyrics are really powerful. On nights I feel afraid, on nights I feel alone, when it's you I want to hold, I know just what to do, which is get to the dance floor. And so the lyrics are really important to me. And I took the lyrics and fed them into Suno,
And Suno came up with a melody. I then gave that melody to Leo Frappier in San Francisco, House of Frappier. And Leo turned it into a song. He then sent me the track. I recorded the leads. I then sent those leads back to Leo. Jeannie Tracy came in up in San Francisco into Leo's studio, dance icon, Sylvester background singer, dance icon of her own. And she created these background vocals. There were none. So she completely created them and where they should be and how they should be. And then, bam, Matt Consola on Swishcraft Records released it today. And there's 12 mixes, including Leo Frappier's, Matt Moss, Rafael Mesa, and Dirty Disco. These are big name remixers. So happy to be working with them. And I hope you like it. Please go stream I Dance Because.
If you're not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast videos and the blog, including recipes, at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
All right, go stream Karel, Karel, I Dance Because. Buy it, stream it, play it. Tell me which mix is your favorite mix. Use it in your social media post. You can add it in Instagram and TikTok as music for your post. Please, Karel, Karel, I Dance Because. I am not the only Karel, unfortunately, on Spotify and on Apple Music or Tidal. So you have to look for me. It's Karel, Karel, I Dance Because. I am not Karel Gott, G-O-T-T. He's a classical musician. But I am Karel, so please go and stream it. All right. Speaking of streaming and online, in Australia, they've done something brave, something wonderful, and I hope the rest of the world does it. And that is today in Australia, people 16 and under had their social media accounts deleted, period. It is a law, and the services have to do all they can do to make sure that the kids don't set up fake accounts saying they're over the age of 16, as kids are wont to do. Now, the Australian government did this because of the research that is out that proves social media is bad for kids. Basically, anyone under the age of 16, it's bad. It is not good for children. A lot of people have complained, well, yes, but this gives vulnerable children a sense of community. It gives them a place, you know, if they're marginalized children, it gives them a place. Yeah. Guess what? I was a marginalized kid. I got by without social media. Okay, so the argument that kids need social media is ridiculous because it's harmful. And, you know, kids might need crack, but we don't let them. Kids might need alcohol to deal with mom and dad, but we don't let them. You know, kids might need cannabis, but we don't let them have it. It is bad for them, social media. We know this. And the Australians have finally, you know, you got to love Australia. They had a mass shooting years ago, 43 people killed. What did they do? They immediately, the next day, outlawed guns. Immediately. No conversation about it. No back and forth. They outlawed them. Now, if you want a handgun, you have to register it. You have to prove that you use it for target practice, all this kind of stuff. And now they know that social media is bad. The scientific proof is out there, and they've banned it. They are the first domino to fall. And I hope that many other countries follow suit. Now, kids, you might hate me for this. And so you're just old. I am old. And guess what? I'm old enough to know that you, if you're 16 or under, should not be wasting your time on social media. Read a frickin' book. Go to the library. Communicate with people. Have meetups. Go meet your friends. Go for a frickin' bike ride. Get out in nature. Study. Figure out what you're going to do with your frickin' life. Get away from social media. Australia, my hats are off to you. Absolutely off. I think it is one of the best things any country can do. What do you all think? I'd love to hear your responses. Now, most of you listening to me, when you were 16, you didn't have social media. Okay, so this wasn't a thing. We had the telephone, maybe a party line. And we had the phone cord that was 15 feet long, so we could take the slimline phone from the kitchen into our bedroom. Okay, that was social media. Social media was meeting your friends after school, watch Stranger Things. The camaraderie between those kids, they're not kids anymore, but you know what I mean. The camaraderie between that group. Watch the Goonies. Watch the Lost Boys. The camaraderie. Stand By Me. Watch that. The camaraderie between those groups of kids does not exist in nations where the kids have access to social media. They don't have large groups of friends that they hang out with. They hang out online. The best thing in the world would be if social media were taken from all of us, by the way. I think adults do much worse with social media than kids. The best thing in the world would be if Instagram, X, Truth Social, Facebook, all of it went away. Our elections would go back to being safe and sane again. Think about that. American presidencies have been swayed by social frickin' media. MAGA could not have been created in the mass way that it is without social media. It just couldn't have. So Australia said, you know what? We're not just going to talk. We're not just going to look at these studies and say, yeah, that's true. Social media does hurt our children, but there's nothing we can do. They're doing something. And today it started. Or as Cooking with Carter on Instagram says, today, I love that kid. So I say hats off to the Australians. I think we should follow suit in this country. I don't, and God, the data is there. Another report just came out. Kids that use social media before the age of 13 are more depressed. They have problems with attention. They have all kinds of emotional and psychological problems. We know this. Now, you got to remember, my whole life, I grew up with being discriminated against for the children, for the babies. We can't let gay teachers in school. We must protect the babies. Oh, we can't let people have abortion. We must protect the babies, the children. Don't let drag queens read to the children, the babies. And then we let them grab a phone and bury their lives inside a screen when we know it's bad for them. You know who social media is good for when you have children? The parents. Because I have seen many a restaurant now where I'm sitting there and the family next to me of 2 kids, the kids are using the tablets and the phones, and they ain't even 10 years old. And the parents sit there on their phones while the kids are sitting there on theirs. And that's dinner. And that's sad. I have commented several times to those types of families. I have gone up and said, do you not like your children? I said this, I swear to God. I walked up, I said, do you not like your children? And they go, what do you mean? And I go, well, you're all having a family dinner, and yet none of you are talking to each other. You're all on your phones. Oh, well, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. So I think what Australia done is great. What do you think? I'd love to hear your comments in the chat room at youtube.com/reallykarel. Down below the video here, be sure you leave your comments. We want the algorithm to pick me up. Just like you want to go stream Karel, K-A-R-E-L, I Dance Because, go stream it. There's 12 mixes. One of them is going to float your boat, okay? And so in Australia, what is saying in the chat room here? Let's check about Australia. It's so sad what has happened to kids. It really is. I couldn't agree more, Karel. It's also really sad that there are no public spaces where kids can hang out like we used to have. I agree. Malls and roller rinks come to mind. Fully agree. I spent so much time at the roller rink. I used to skate professionally, actually, and spent so much time at the roller rink. We'd go to Venice Beach every weekend and roller skate. Every weekend, me and my friends, Venice Beach. We'd take the bus. Miles and miles. 15 years old, 14 years old, taking the bus to Venice from Long Beach. We also had under 18 dance clubs. We sure did. Noah's Ark. And the teenage disco up in LA. I'm certain it wasn't Circus. Forget the name of it. But there was a teenage disco up in Los Angeles, which was great fun. And I went to it as well. Social media makes it for child predators, easier for child predators. Yep. Rachel says, thumbs up to Australia. I agree. Ray Renati, good for Australia. I agree. I fully agree. Because, look, we now live in an era where data comes at us and tells us something, and we promptly ignore it. Or you'd all be vegan, for instance. I know some of you are, and because of me, some of you are, and that's great. All of you aren't, because you refuse to accept data that doesn't fit your life. Now, like they said in the one good line from the movie After the Hunt, life is not made for you to be comfortable, or not everything in life is there to make you comfortable. If data is uncomfortable, so what? The fact is, we ignore the data. We know a plant-forward diet is the way to health and the way to longevity and the way to help save the planet. We know that. But many of you listening to me still come up with stupid reasons why you have to eat meat or dairy, because you don't have to eat meat or dairy. Maybe dairy. You know, I've given a lot of thought to vegetarianism recently. I am a vegan, and, you know, I don't want to eat eggs, but sometimes I'm somewhere and there's something made with milk or cream and I really want it. So I've been entertaining it. I haven't tried anything yet, but, you know. But that data's there, and you promptly ignore it. The climate change data is in. We know what we need to do. And that means no more fossil fuels within 5 years, globally. No more coal, no more oil. We know that. We know it. It's not even debated anymore. It's for anyone with a brain. It's in evidence. We ignore those facts. We tend to ignore facts that would make that we have to change our life. We don't want to change our lives, and we certainly don't want to change our society. And so we ignore that. We know that Donald Trump did not win the last election fairly. We know that. Everybody knows that. We know there was tampering in the swing states. We know that Elon Musk illegally contributed. We know all this. We know it. It's a fact. And we do nothing about it. Nothing. Australia, we know that guns need to be banned in the United States when it comes to assault weapons, handguns. They need to be strictly regulated. Strictly regulated. You need to be licensed to have one. You need to have insurance on it. So if you do some deed with it, it's covered. We know this. We know guns. The number one killer of kids in America are handguns. We do nothing about it. We know that fact. The number one cause of death for people under the age of 18, guns. We know that. We do nothing about it. In Australia, they knew that. They outlawed guns. In Australia, they know that kids under the age of 16 should simply not be on social media. And as of today in Australia, they won't be. Or at least they're trying. We won't even try. We know that Donald Trump is doing illegal orders every single day. We know this. Generals know this. The cabinet knows. Everybody knows that what he's doing is illegal. Nothing happens. The Supreme Court is out of control. The conservatives on the court are handing him complete and absolute power. They are paving the way for fascism. We do nothing about it. Clarence Thomas's wife participated in an insurrection. But we're going out and tackling people whose sole crime is wanting to live and work in America. But the woman who committed open sedition with the blessing of her husband, the Supreme Court justice, nothing. We are a race of animals that will not take anything that is presented in evidence and make a change unless it fits our lifestyle. Then we'll do it. If it doesn't fit our lifestyle, we won't make the change. And that's why we're doomed as a species, because we continually ignore what is right in frickin' front of us. We just ignore it. We do nothing about it because we feel powerless in many ways. You think I can't solve global climate. I was in the shower this morning. I said, I've started using a pumice stone for my feet so I don't have to use a Dremel. I use a Dremel on my feet. Not anymore. I got a pumice stone, and now every morning I pumice stone them. In fact, my feet are so smooth when I do yoga, they slip. So they do. I kind of slip. But I was in there, and I thought I should turn off the water while I pumice my feet. You know, it takes a minute or two, and that's just water going. And I thought, you know what? That ship has sailed. Las Vegas, water, the ship has sailed. Because the corporations that are here use more. I use about 40 gallons of water a day. There are rich people in Las Vegas that use over 100,000 gallons of water a day. And they pay a fine. And they don't care because they can pay the fine. So they don't care. They water their properties. They have their fountains. I'm not talking about commercial businesses. I'm talking about the people that own them. The casino owners, their houses. They published a list. Mark Wahlberg uses almost 80,000 gallons of water a day. But they want me to turn off the shower? No, that ship has sailed. Just bye. Bye, ship. All right, I'll read through your comments. Put them down below or in the chat. Do you think Australia's done the right thing? I do. Or do you think kids are just going to find a way to get back online? Maybe.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
Hold you dear. I dance to be the light. I dance to dance. 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 Yeah, dance. Dance. We may now be apart, but you dance in my heart. And all the joy you bring still leaves my heart to sing. Your memory is strong. It's like
All right, you're going to hear a lot of that. I was dancing like Donald Trump. What a goon he is. What a goonberry. Absolute goonberry. So Australia has said no. No to social media and their kids. And I say yay to them. Now, over in Japan, I watch NHK World. It's a big deal on NHK World. They have warned of a possible mega quake. Okay? So there was a 7.5 earthquake, which is pretty freaking mega if you ask me. It struck the northern part of the country, causing 34 mild injuries and some damage to roads and buildings. The government has estimated that an offshore megaquake could cause a tsunami up to 100 feet tall. That's like an Irwin Allen film. And kill 200,000 people. They have issued an official advisory. It's not a prediction. It's an official advisory that the probability of a magnitude 8 or larger quake is now at about 1 to 2%. And that's enough for them to say, we got to get ready. We got to be ready. That's incredible. Now, Japan lives, with earthquakes. They have a lot of earthquakes over in Japan. Ask Fukushima. But you got to wonder. The Ring of Fire has been so active of late. Many volcanoes are going off. And now we have Japan with megaquakes. If I were writing a disaster movie, I would not use Dennis Quaid, by the way. I like him as an actor, but he's just too MAGA. What a shit show. Did you see that Kennedy Honors? Sly Stallone, whom I like. I like Sly Stallone. I so wish he wasn't MAGA. I just wish he wasn't MAGA. Because guess what? I think Sly Stallone does deserve a Kennedy Center honor. I do. He has made really inspirational and incredible movies. He is a great comeback story. Tulsa King is a huge hit thanks to that cute asshole. What's his name? Sheridan. Tyler Sheridan. He's cute, but I'm told he's an asshole. Anyway, I've never met him. I guess I shouldn't prejudge him. But Tyler Sheridan has written this Tulsa King show, and I like Tulsa King. I like the premise. I like Garrett Hedlund, who's in it. I want to marry him. He's gorgeous. And I like the show, and I like Sly in it. I mean, the surgery, you get past how he looks, after a minute. And so I believe he deserves the Kennedy Center honor. I think he does. And all these people were ragging on Kiss because there they were, these plastic-looking Kardashian-like rockers. And they're saying, it's not rock and roll to kiss the butt of a dictator. And it's not. I don't think any of them should have accepted this from Donald Trump. I don't. But that doesn't mean they don't deserve it. Now, look, I don't own one Kiss song. I haven't listened to one entire Kiss album. But I know how important they were to rock and roll. Okay, so they deserve they do. And so it's rough because you got people like Sly Stallone who deserves the award. You got people like Kiss. They deserve the award. Thelma Houston, or no, it wasn't Thelma Houston. Gloria Gaynor. I could think of many bigger R&B dance artists who actually deserve the award. But the problem is they're all MAGA. And I just don't understand how artists. Sly Stallone grew up in Hollywood since he was like 23 years old, 24. He started by making a porno, the Italian Stallion. How he could go from making a porno to being in the Oval with Donald Trump, and I know Sly likes him young. I was curious whether or not he was an Epstein person or not because, he tends to marry. I know he's got a wife and daughters, but, look at his wife. She's many years his junior. So just because Trump is honoring them doesn't mean we should dismiss their deservingness of the award. I think Sly deserves it. Kiss deserves it. It's just sad it came from this president. It really, truly is. What's going on in the chat room? Cops and robbers pretending to be professional wrestlers, stickball. Yep, those are all games we used to play. Australia started as a prison colony. Yes, it did. But now they got it right, didn't they? Nowadays, kids are kept home under lock and key. Can I just tell you the weirdest phenomenon before we go to part 2 of the show? Because this speaks to what you're talking about in the chat room. So I drive by a school every morning on my way to and from the park with Ember, or we walk by it if we're walking. And the parents, maybe some of you have experienced this. The parents drop them off, bring them to school, because it's a grade school, 0 through 6, 1 through 6. And so the kids are between the ages of 8 and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, let's say 8 to 13. And because how old are you in 6th grade? 12. So they're like 7 to 12 years old. And the parents, drop them off like my parents used to do. Or we used to walk by ourselves at 7, 8, or 9 years old. But anyway, and then a large number of parents, from 8:15 to 9 o'clock when the bell rings, 8:45 when the bell rings, the parents line up along the fence and they watch their kids on the playground. And I, for the life of me, do not understand why. My sister and I were lucky if my mother even slowed down below 10 miles an hour to throw us out of the car at school. I mean, what the thought that my mother would ever get out of the car and watch us on the playground, she'd be like, why? I don't understand it. I know they're called helicopter parents. That's helicopters crash. If you're so insecure, if you think your kid's in danger out there on the playground, then don't leave him at that school. Why would you stand there and watch your kid on the playground? Can any of you explain that to me? Do any of you have friends that are parents that do this? I am going to have to go with a recorder one day and ask them, why are you standing here? Why haven't you left? Your kid's in school. All right, we'll be back for part 2 of the Trailcast. I don't get that. Do y'all get that? I don't get that.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karelcast on your favorite streaming service.
Showtime. showtime is here.
Where you at?
No time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show. Let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
You'll be swell. You'll be great. Not gonna eat one thing on your plate. You took the shot in your tummy. I don't know where they do the shot. Where do they do the shot? The Ozempic. Anyway, we're talking about that.
Uncensored, unfiltered, unhinged. It's the Karel Cast. Listen daily on your favorite streaming service.
You'll be swell. You'll be great. You won't touch one thing on your plate. Got the shot in your tummy. Now no food looks very yummy. Your flabby ass is melting by the day. Baby Ozempic, Wegovy, and Zepbound will save the day. Eat your heart out, Randy Rainbow. Well, in 2025, more people took the jab. Did you get the jab? Now remember, some of these are the same fucking people that refused to get a COVID shot. Some of these people are the same fucking people that will not get a vaccine because there's this whole... who knew that you can no longer rely on the CDC or the government for healthcare guidelines? Because you can't. Because now they're like, oh, don't take that vaccine. Don't take that. Don't give babies vitamin K shots. Don't do that. Years of science that we know works. And they're like, no, you don't. So now you can't listen to the CDC. You can't. But these people who wouldn't even take the COVID jab are sticking themselves up with the Ozempic and the Wegovy and the Zepbound. Oh, yes, honey. The GLP-1s. As a nation, we have lost more weight in the last year than any other year. Now, you would think that's a good thing. You think, wow, that's great. People are getting healthy. Nope. No. Actually, look at this dynamic. In 2025, Americans lost more weight than ever. And in 2025, Americans spent more money on health care than ever. Figure that out. You're on a drug, you're losing weight, allegedly you're getting healthier. And then you still got to go to the doctor. To get the drug that's making you lose weight. Cancers are on the rise. Colon cancers, skin cancers, endometriosis, all these kinds of things on the rise, and younger. People in their 20s. There are now men in their 20s getting prostate cancer. And so we live in an odd time where people have access to incredible medicine, like GLP-1s, just incredible space-age medications, and yet they're not getting healthier. They're actually getting sicker. And you have to wonder why. I don't wonder. I know exactly why. I'm sitting here acting like, well, you have to wonder why that. Fuck that. It's the food. Even if you're only eating a small amount of it, you're still eating toxic food. GLP-1 isn't going to keep your ass away from McDonald's, keep your ass away from all these processed foods, ultra-processed foods that you buy because you don't have time for dinner. So you're going to just throw some pre-made pasta or some whatever, ultra-processed things that have 30 ingredients and 10 of which you can't pronounce. Oh, but I'm losing weight. Yes. Fruit and vegetable consumption in the United States has not risen in 2025. Okay? Beans, rice, whole grains have not risen in 2025. Nope. So we have a time where people are eating less food, but they're not eating better food when they are eating. They're still eating junk. They're just eating less junk, which is great. But if you're losing weight and you're not replacing the junk with whole foods, grains, beans, droops, which are nuts, fruits, vegetables, pulses like lentils. If you're not doing that, then you're skinny, but you're not healthier. And for me, it's not about your weight. I'm overweight. I'm about 25 pounds overweight, and yet I'm healthier than many of these skinny people in terms of my labs and all of that. So, and it's because of what I eat, and more importantly, what I don't eat. So we live in a nation obsessed with being thin, but we don't live in a nation obsessed with being healthy. And there is a huge, huge difference. And that's why there's still these fad diets,
If you're not
out there in the world.
ReallyKarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast videos and the blog, including recipes at ReallyKarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
It's funny. I can always gauge by the chat room at youtube.com/ReallyKarel which topic is really sticking. Everyone there is still talking about kids and how today's kids, it's not a good situation. Now, I know we're old. Okay, we're old and we were raised a different way, but that doesn't mean we were raised a bad way. Today's kids, because this is coming from the story from Australia, where today, 16-year-olds and below do not have access to social media. They have been cut off. And I'm all for it. But we live in this world now where kids are not allowed to be children. They're not allowed to fuck up. How many of you fucked up a lot when you were a kid? I did. I mean, it's normal. It's natural. And when I say fuck up, I mean, maybe you broke a window with a baseball or maybe you I don't know, you went somewhere on your bike you shouldn't have or something, you messed up, or you got hurt, broken bones. How many of you have broken a bone as a kid? I broke several. My wrist 4 times, my ankle twice. Oh, yeah, I broke bones. Got dirty. Went and played in a creek. Actually walked out in a creek and caught crawdads. I've done that before, by the way. You take a screw or a nut, a long screw, and you put it on a piece of string. And then you tie a piece of something or you just put a piece of something on the screw like... I don't know. What did we used to put? We used to put just whatever we were eating. And then you throw it in the little creek and crawdads will come and try to get it. And you pull them out. We never kept them. We just threw them back in the stream. But, we used to walk through stream. And, there was danger, child. There were many times when I was a kid in Maine. Oh, my God, Molly, we were in danger, girl. We were running on logs. Because we were near a sawmill and there were logs that they floated down the Penobscot River into the mill, and we'd go into where they're storing the logs would be floating and we'd jump out on the log and run. If you fell in that water, it was freezing, and if you got in between the logs, you could drown. And yeah, some kids did. But you know what? It was fun and we did it, and our parents let us. Well, they didn't really know because we would say, it'd be 2 p.m. on a Saturday. And I'd be like, I'm going out. And they'd be, okay, be back at dark. Now, in the winter, that was at 5 o'clock. In the summer, that was at 10 o'clock. How many remember, be home when the streetlights come on? Kids today don't even know what time the streetlights come on. I mean, our parents had to be reminded that we existed. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Oh, shit, I forgot. Where are they? Our parents literally had to be reminded that they had kids. People are like, I know you all drank out of a hose. Didn't you have access to a sink? These people don't even know the idea that we didn't go in a house for hours. Kids today had no idea. We would leave the house in the morning and not be in anybody's house all day long, maybe for lunch. Maybe not. We'd be outside. So if we wanted to drink, we had to go get drink out of a hose. Why? Because it was outside. We didn't go inside of houses. We stayed outside, rode bikes, climbed trees, went to the mall, went to the movies. I went to so many movies as a kid. Oh my God. So many. Several times a week. Down at the mall, go to the movie, walk around the mall. Yeah, with my mom. With my mom, because I didn't have many friends. I was a little fat gay kid. So, it was me and mom. But whatever, my mom was we'd go to Chinese lunch and go to a movie. Nowadays, they watch their movies on this, and a bicycle, electric bicycles. What the fuck? What the hell? Electric bicycles. I mean, really. Electric bicycles for kids. What? No child. Those should be outlawed too. I love that Australia outlawed social media for kids under 16. If you're under 16, you shouldn't be able to have an electric bicycle. A, they're dangerous. But B, pedal. Get some cardio. Expand your lungs. Breathe in some air. The hell does a 16-year-old need an electric bicycle for? When you're 15, you can pedal 100 miles. If you can't, there's a problem. When I was a kid, I roller skated from Long Beach, California to Venice Beach. That's 30 miles each way. It took 2.5 hours to roller skate, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. We'd leave at 8 in the morning and get to Venice around noon. And then we'd be there until about 2 or 3, and then we'd bus part of the way home. There were parts we couldn't bus, though, so we still had to, skate like half of it. Can you imagine nowadays living in Long Beach, California, and letting your kid... My mom didn't care. Where are you going? Venice Beach. They knew it was 30 miles away. They didn't care. They're all, be careful. Call us. Let us know you're okay. Because I'd use a payphone to do that. So we'd call them on the payphone. Now kids just don't. But more importantly, they don't have the desire to do it. We wanted to do it. We wanted to go for a bike ride. We wanted to go to the mall. I remember 25-cent movie theaters, by the way. And then dollar movie theaters came like in the 80s. There were dollar movie theaters. I remember when movies were 25 cents and 50 cents. Absolutely. Or the nighttime movie was like $1.50. I'm old. But kids, they wanted to do this. The other thing was hanging out. You'd go hang out at a friend's house. You'd be up in their room. We didn't have internet. God knows what we'd be doing in the room. Doing our nails, doing our hair, drawing, painting, dishing about people, talking on the phone to other friends. You'd be up in their room. Jimmy, it's time for dinner. Oh, can Bobby stay? Okay, call his mom and make sure. How many times did you eat over at a friend's house? I ate over at so many friends' house, sometimes I barely ate at home in a week. Nowadays, it's just all different and not better. If it were better, great. Advances in childcare. If it were better, it's not better. Kids not having any quiet time. As a kid, I had lots of quiet time in my room. I'd be alone in my room. Maybe I'd listen to music, and at school, we had quiet time. Put your heads down. We're going to turn off the lights in the class. Put your heads down. Spend the next 20 minutes just being still. Kids don't have quiet time anymore. Everything's thrown at them nonstop. And I wonder what kind of generations we're creating. I mean, look at Gen Y and Gen Z. Wah, 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 wah. The generation of nothing is supposed to offend me. The generation of I want, easier ways to do things, not harder. Just Gen Z and Gen Y, they are just crybabies. And everything's got to be politically correct. Nothing can rock their boats or their worldviews. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. I'm so lucky I wasn't killed by a serial killer. When I was 16 and 17 and 15 and gay out in dolphin shorts cut up to my ass. Oh, yes, you could see all my business. I would roller skate that way. I'd wear a pair of boot roller skates with dolphin shorts with a slit on the side and a tank top and perm blonde hair. Gay at 15 in 1977. It is amazing I did not have anything befall me. And they were in the area. I've seen many a murder, death, kill show set in the 70s and 80s out of L.A., and there were many gay serial killers who, they preyed upon gay boys. I guess, I don't know, they didn't find me attractive or whatever because I never met one. But I could have, the way I was carrying on, And we used to be able to walk everywhere and bike everywhere, and now there's so much traffic. I wouldn't let my kid bike around Las Vegas. Are you kidding me? The way that oh, no way. Not unless I lived out by Mountain's Edge or whatever, where they could go out into the hills. And even then, I remember when I was in high school, so I was like 15 or 16, a neighbor was going to the river, and I wanted to go. We were CB buddies. They were over 18. I was under. I was like 15. And I wanted to go. They were already drinking and smoking and doing drugs and having sex. I was having sex with one of them. Little Squirrel was his name. It wasn't Little. He was 18. And I wanted to go to the river with them. And my mom let me for the whole weekend. 15 years old. All right, see you Monday, Chucky. I'm sure she was worried, and I'm sure, but I called her every day from the payphone at the campground we were staying at. And she knew the name of the campground we were at and all of that. But she still let me go. I was 15. She thought, yeah, go with your friends. There was another 16-year-old that was in our group. I was 15. I had a friend that was 16 that was in the group, and then two 18-year-olds. They let us go. My mom wouldn't worry I was going to become a drug addict or start smoking or drinking. Or she trusted me. And I think that's part of the thing. Our parents trusted us. They trusted us. They trusted their upbringing of us. And so they knew if we were out in the world, we could handle whatever. And if we couldn't, they also knew that there would be other adults around that could. Because back when we grew up, other adults got involved. They weren't afraid to touch another person's child. If a kid needed help, they'd go help. How many times, I can't tell you how many times I'd be walking through a neighborhood and miles away, far away from my house, have to go to the bathroom, and there would be no public bathroom. So I would knock on the door of someone that was home, and some old person would come to the door, and I'd say, hi, I'm walking to the beach. This would be when I was in Long Beach. We lived up on 30th Street. The beach was 6 miles. 6 miles? 5 miles. The beach was 5 miles, and me and my dog would walk to the beach and then walk home. And if I had to go to the bathroom and I wasn't around a place, stores would let you go to the bathroom, by the way, back in the day. But if there wasn't one around, I'd knock on someone's door and say, I'm walking to the beach and I really got to go. Would you mind? And they'd let me come in and use their bathrooms. Could you imagine someone knocking on your door now asking to use your bathroom? You wouldn't let them. Could you imagine a kid knocking on your door and saying, I need to use the bathroom. Would you let me? You wouldn't let them in. You'd be afraid that they'd say something, that you did something to them or something. But no, absolutely. And our parents could trust us because when we grew up, Gen X and boomers, there were repercussions for acting up. And it wasn't your parents having a logical, thought out, empathetic conversation with you. That wasn't what it was. Now, I'm not for hitting kids, but I've been hit. And believe me, when I was hit, I didn't do whatever it was again. I once talked back to my mom, and I got her knuckles right in my mouth. She backhanded me. She was like, don't ever talk to me that way again. Guess what? I never did. And I had a toothache after that, too. Was she abusive? No. Did I deserve it? Yeah. And we would get grounded. You know, you're not leaving the house. You're not calling any of your friends. You can't watch TV and you can't use the phone. There were repercussions for what we did. Nowadays, there are no repercussions for kids to behave badly. There's just no punishing kids as recherché. Oh, you don't punish children. You don't yell at children anymore. I would yell at a child before I'd yell at a dog. Don't yell at dogs. But people, some kids deserve it. I hate to say it, but I have parented other people's children in the stores and stuff. I saw a kid the other day when I was at Walmart, of all places, but I had to go. I needed labels for the Christmas cards, and they were cheaper there. So I went to Walmart. And this kid was walking down the aisle, grabbing stuff off the aisle and just dropping it onto the floor. And his parent was going behind him and putting it back. And I looked at the parent and I looked at the kid and I go, are you going to stop it? Oh, well, he just does this kind of stuff. It's okay. It's not okay. And he grabbed another one. I said, hey, you, stop. You don't take things off shelves. Leave them there. And the dad was like, well, don't parent my child. I said, well, you ain't. And I said that. I said, well, someone's got to. You're not. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, we will finish up the show when we come back.
Now it's showtime.
You know, Sandy in the chat room at youtube.com/Really Karel. By the way, if you're not a patron, please become one at patreon.com/Really Karel. That's patreon.com/Really Karel. I appreciate every patron. The show would not exist without you. James Schnabel is a patron. He's in the chat room right now. There's many patrons in the chat room right now, and I thank you, Ray Renati. I thank you all so much. Sandy brings up a great point, though. I was barely reprimanded, and I was only hit once. But, well, that's because I used the F word. I was like 14, and my mom said something, and I go, oh, just fuck it. And backhand to the mouth. That was it. Didn't use that word around her anymore. Anyway, I don't know if it's generational or what, but growing up, me and my friends, we wanted to impress our parents. We wanted our parents to be proud of us. We wanted our parents, and yes, we all had the rebellious stage, you know, when you're a young teenager, 13, 14, it's your job to hate your parents. But I never did hate my parents. I always wanted to take care of my parents. My parents were handicapped. I always wanted to protect my mom. My mom was 4'9" and had bow legs and walked a little bit differently. And people openly made fun of her, adults and children, in the 70s and 80s, made fun of my handicapped mother. And I would always want to protect her. I didn't hate my parents. On the contrary, I loved them. And I wanted to impress them. Part of the reason I am Karel was to impress my mom and dad when I was young. You know, they came to my plays when I was in high school and in junior high school. The talent show that I emceed, the very first talent show, my very first live performance on a stage, Franklin Junior High School, 1976, car wash. I was 14 years old. That was the theme of the talent show, and I beat out everybody in the school to be the MC. Imagine that. And I wanted to impress my peers, but mostly my mom and dad. When that show was over, it was my mom that I wanted to find and see what she thought of me. I don't know that kids nowadays give one rat's ass what their parents think about them. They care more about what their social media, how many likes and followers they've got. That's why I think Australia is doing a great thing today by banning social media for 16-year-olds. Okay. Well, I am Karel, and I do love you all, and be who you want to be, so it doesn't hurt anybody. I just can't thank you enough for being here every day. We got 2 more shows this week and then 4 shows next week. And then it's the holidays. Yeah, holiday. I'll be a holiday. So today, I'm just going to leave you with the song because you know what? I love the song and I love you. And so it's released today. This is Karel, K-A-R-E-L. I Dance Because. I would very much like for you to hear it and love it and enjoy it. And I'll see you tomorrow.
I feel the joy you bring. I know just what to do. When it's you I wanna hold, I start to feel the beat. Let it move into my soul. As I no longer feel alone. The rhythm makes me whole. Yes, we may not be apart, but you dance in my heart. And all the joy you bring to leave my heart to sing. Yes, your memory is strong. It's like a favorite song. And as I spin and sing, I feel the joy you bring. I dance because we did. I dance because we could. I dance to show the world. I dance to show the good. I dance to feel you near. I dance to hold you dear. I dance to be the light. I dance to honor nights. So I don't fear the memories. No, I don't feel that crying. Because the time had come for us to say goodbye. Instead I start to move across the dance floor. It's so wild. My body starts to feel the love I have inside for you. The love I have inside for you. The love I have inside for you. For you, for you, for you. The love I have inside. I dance because we did. I dance because we could. I dance to show the world. I dance to show the good. I dance to feel you near. I dance to hold you dear. I dance to be the light. I dance to our nights. I dance because we did. I dance because we could. I dance to show the world. I dance to show the good. I dance to feel you near. I dance to hold you dear. I dance to be the light. I dance to honor.
I do so hope you love that song.
On days of sadness wins, on nights that seem too cold, I know just what to do. When it's you I wanna hold, I start to feel the beat. Let it move into my soul. Then I no longer feel alone. The rhythm makes me whole. Yeah, I dance because we did. I dance because we could. I dance to show the world. I dance to show the good. I dance to feel you near. I dance to hold you dear. I dance to be the light. I dance to all the
Okay, all day now you all are going to be going around going, I dance because we did. I dance because we could. I dance to show the world. I dance to show the good. And I want you to be doing that. I want you all day. All day. I want you to be walking around. I dance because we did. I dance because we could. I dance to show the world. I dance to show the good. I dance to feel you near. I dance to hold you dear. I dance to be the light. I dance to honor nights. On days that sadness wins. Ah, I just love this song. And I have to tell you, I'm really loving myself as a songwriter these days. These lyrics are incredible lyrics. They really are. And they're about, when you lose someone. It doesn't have to be to AIDS. It's just about when you lose someone and they're no longer there. How to keep them in your heart. You dance, child. I am Karel. Be who you want to be. So on the Hurt Anybody. We'll see you tomorrow. All day today. I dance because we did. Go stream it. Karel, K-A-R-E-L. I dance because. I dance to show the world. I dance to show the good. Come on.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service.